Space nerds! I am a glut for punishment. I have a penchant for pain, and I might have hit my head too hard this morning putting my socks on. But if you stay with me for like the next 5 minutes, I think Squadron 42 could be an Xbox launch title. Okay, yeah, it's crazy. There's gonna be an Xbox, I know. But let me just please listen. Asha Sharma is the new CEO for Xbox, and people were a little bit unsure about her coming into the job and what they were going to do with the Xbox going forward. But in the last couple days, she made an announcement here. She said, "Great start to the morning with Team Xbox, where we talked about our commitment to the return of Xbox, including Project Helix." Big thing here that she says, Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. Now, this is nothing new from Xbox. They've been clearly kind of signaling that this was going to happen over the years. The marketing campaigns were no real... To be quite honest, there's a lot of talk that the whole everything is an Xbox campaign did not do very well for them. It actually kind of hurt the brand name and the image. There's a lot of talk about this. I won't get into it. Point being, Xbox has been clear that they want the next Xbox to also run PC games. Now, IGN's done some reporting on this, and they've gone a little deeper into what was said in the whole message. One of the things that they specifically ask is, if Helix is set to play PC games without any caveats, if this Xbox is to play any and all games available on Steam, Epic Game Store, Ubisoft Connect, GOG, or any other service. We'll get around to that. Star Citizen and Squadron 42 have their own launcher. But they continue on down below. They mention here, and I think this is a key acknowledgement, they say, the fact that Project Helix even exists in the first place suggests that Microsoft has solved the puzzle of engineering a cohesive set of hardware components that can act as both PC and console architecture. They continue to speculate below, and they say, to be clear, when I say software, I mean operating system, not games. Helix will require an OS that can seamlessly switch between its console and PC environments, sort of like the modern day version of how the launch era PlayStation 3 could flip into PlayStation 2 mode. But they go on to acknowledge below even further that Microsoft needs to take this more seriously than they did with the ROG Xbox Ally. And that is the canary in the coal mine, possibly. The ROG Xbox Ally does run games from other launchers. Battle.net, Steam, Epic, GOG, other launchers. There's a very good chance that we could see the Robert Space Industry launcher on something like this. And this is the ROG Ally. This is a handheld. Now, all of this is pointing towards a really expensive Xbox. Don't get me wrong. This is meant to replace what sounds like a mid-level PC or so. So it's not like this is going to run everything really well. I'm talking Squadron 42, not Star Citizen. But I did also look up Star Citizen on the ROG Ally just to see if it was possible, and there are plenty of users who are on the forums 3+ years ago, who got this working. They got it installed. They were saying that it was completely playable, but there were a couple issues going on, like people had to install anti-cheat themselves. These are the kinds of, that's not a big deal. We're talking about the difference between possibly having to port Squadron 42 over to run on consoles versus this just running natively on the next Xbox. I can't speak towards PlayStation or any of the other consoles, but at least for the Xbox, this is an interesting prospect. One key thing that IGN does acknowledge here is the Steam machine. Steam is obviously kind of getting into the territory of Microsoft when it comes to an OS that can run games and basically surf the web. So they need to be careful of this, and I can see them starting to duke it out across the different platforms. Here they say, SteamOS uses a compatibility layer called Proton to effectively translate PC games designed for Windows and make them work on a Linux-based machine. This is what makes using a Steam Deck feel so complete and console-like, and why, at least in their opinion, it's a better option than the Ally Xbox layered over Windows 11 approach. For this next Xbox, they're definitely gonna have to strip out most of what makes Windows 11 very bad. But this is the Windows side of things. I think this might actually solve the ability to at least run Squadron on the Xbox. Why would they make a deal for it to be a launch title, though? This takes us back to not the fact that Chris probably has a little bit of a bone to pick with Microsoft, and this would be a fun way to, get a little in at them. But look at the way he even started the marketing for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen back in the day. Yeah. It's not really super subtle. He was very proud about the idea of making a game made for PC. You know, you can't be run by consoles, and it's all over the Kickstarter page as well. He said here, the traditional publishers don't believe in PCs or space sims. Those filthy venture capitalists. Get 'em, kids. We say they're wrong. We say that there is a large audience of PC gamers. He's not wrong. And this was like 13 years ago. It's a really big audience of PC gamers. But like, that's kind of changes when the PC can get plugged into your living room TV. He said, let's put high-end PC gaming and space sims back on the map. I don't think they're specifically going for high-end anymore, but we'll see how their optimizations go. And then all the way down here at the bottom, again, you'll find and that hero is you, the unappreciated PC gamer. Hold the line. So like, clearly that was the call. That was the big thing. And they value the idea that it is an impressive set of games they're working on. I mean, we've seen the gameplay. I mean, say what you will about Star Citizen, the Squadron 42 game looks good. So it will look really good in advertisements and showcases on the stage as the new Xbox is presented. I could see it being a thing. They've also got a lot of celebrities involved, so there's star power, easy to get them on the stage. Who knows? It could happen. I want to be clear though, I don't have any sort of like inside knowledge of how the engine works, how Proton works, how any of this sort of stuff works, and what kind of work it would take for this to happen. CIG should focus on getting Squadron out first on the PC and make sure it works well for you know, the PC gamers. But just this news that they're finally making the jump to actually getting the Xbox to run PC games natively seems like it could mean a lot more for getting games that are only on PC out to more people. It's not just a Squadron thing. This is a lot of games on Steam, on GOG, and maybe even just on the internet that people will start to be able to play on their living room TV. Not bad. Anyways, maybe this convinced you, maybe it didn't, but I thought it was a cool conversation starter. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and we'll see where this goes. Thanks for watching.